Hello there, and welcome, my friend Rachel, here with you. And today I want to talk to you about redefining our work life balance. We are going to be diving into tips for a healthier and happier you. Now, before we dive in, I want to ask you, do you think that work life balance is just an Instagram perfect fantasy? Or do you think that it's a reality that you can actually achieve? Stick around because we're going to debunk some myths and set you on a path to a more balanced life that you will love. So, work life balance, I like to think of it as kind of the unicorn of adulting, right? So, we all want to find it because let's face it, it's not just about keeping your sanity, it's also good for your physical and your mental health. Here's the thing, when work gets too crazy and family and personal time start to suffer, finding that balance or that harmony becomes a real challenge. And that's when every aspect of our life really starts to feel the strain. So let's dive into this myth of the perfect work life balance. So here's the thing, a perfect work life balance doesn't exist. Yep, you heard me right. The idea that we can have it all without any sacrifices, to be perfectly honest, is a fairy tale. And striving for this unrealistic perfection is only going to lead to stress and burnout. I've been there myself, and I know that it's not a fun place to be. We need to rethink what we mean by work life balance or work life harmony, because it's not about perfection. It's about creating this harmonious life that prioritizes your well being, your relationships, and yes, your career. So here's the thing, this imbalance doesn't just affect your work, it doesn't just affect your relationships. It can take a toll on your health, it can take a toll on your well being. When your stress hormones go haywire and sleep becomes a distant memory, you don't even get me started on that emotional roller coaster, right? It's a vicious cycle. And breaking free does require conscious effort. So, how do we break free from this emotional roller coaster? Well, let's dive into some strategies for cultivating a more balanced life. If you are ready to redefine what balance means to you, I've got some tried and true tips that can really help you to discover your sense of balance or harmony and really own it. Are you ready? Let's dive in. All right, first, I want to talk to you about email boundaries. So many people I know, including myself, have our email for work available on our phone, which essentially means that we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So let me ask you this. Are work emails creeping into your personal time? Because if so, it may be time to set some boundaries. Make a pact with yourself that work emails stay at work, period. Turn off those notifications. Don't look at your phone when you're in your personal time. Nurturing relationships. Your relationships are your emotional backbone. So, how can you schedule regular catch ups? Even if it's just a quick call or text or a weekend brunch, how can you prioritize making time for the people who matter to you? Self care, you knew you weren't getting away from me without talking about that, and personal wellness. Self care is not selfish. Self care is essential. Whether you're taking time out of your day for a yoga session, a spa day, or just some quiet time with a book, make sure that you are dedicating time to recharge your own batteries. What about weekend wellness? So, weekends are not just for brunch and Netflix. Use this time for rest, rejuvenation, and reflection. Whether it's a walk out in the woods, whether you're spending some time journaling, whether you're taking some time to just be and do nothing, that is not lazy. Weekends are your sanctuary for soul care. And I do realize that not everybody has weekends off. So your weekend might be whatever days you are not committed to being at your job. Find some time to spend on rest, reflection, and rejuvenation. All right, another big one, boundaries, my friend. Learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. And saying no, it's crucial in every aspect of our life. So, whether it's a work project or a social gathering that you really don't want to attend, it's okay to say no. Now, there's a gray area in that, of course. Pick and choose with work what you say no to, but you know what I mean. Where can you say no? Where are you taking on too much? Where are you taking on more than you can comfortably do? Remember that your time is valuable and you need to spend it wisely. Let's talk about working smarter, not harder, because this applies to all areas of our life. Prioritize what truly needs to get done in your work, in your relationships, and in self care. Tackle those big tasks first and watch your productivity soar. All right, I've got a few more ideas for you, my friend. Leave work at work. We touched on this a little bit earlier with emails, but when you clock out, take a deep breath, maybe do a quick meditation session, and just leave all that work stress behind you. Easier said than done, but how can you come up with an end of day ritual that helps you physically and mentally close out your work day? If you work from home, maybe that is shutting the door to your office. If you are in an office, maybe it's clearing off your desk so that when you come in first thing in the morning, it's clean and cozy and ready for you. Maybe it's a couple of deep breaths. Maybe it's closing your eyes and breathing deep down into your belly. Whatever it is, how can you help yourself to leave work behind? All right. This is going to be a challenging one for some of us, but embrace imperfection. Any other recovering perfectionists out there? I raise my hand. So let me tell you what I've learned. Perfection is overrated. I'm going to say that again. Perfection is overrated, whether it's at work, whether it's in your relationships, or even in your self care routine. It is okay to let go. Easier said than done, like so many things in our life, right? But what you're doing is already enough. So remember that creating more balance in your life is not about perfection. It's about figuring out what balance means to you and creating a harmonious life that prioritizes your well being. And yes, there's a reason I mentioned your well being first, because without your health, without your well being, so much else falls to the wayside, right? You've got to prioritize your well being, you've got to prioritize your relationship, and yes, you've got to prioritize your career. All right, I've got one more tip to share with you, my friend, and that is to make your own rules. Be a game changer. What does that mean to you? Well, for many of us, the landscape of work and life is evolving, and it is high time that we played by our own rules. So if you have a work life balance idea, share it with your boss, share it with your family, or even just jot it down in your journal to bring up at a later time. Because let me tell you something, if you are feeling the strain, there's a high likelihood that your colleagues and your family are as well. So your whole team could benefit from your suggestions. So there you have it, my friends. Finding that sweet balance is totally doable. And the payoff is huge: less stress, more joy, and a life that feels full and rich. So while you're here, I do want to invite you to download your work life harmony checklist. And if you are looking to dive even deeper into this topic and you are watching this real time, I have got an upcoming masterclass called Be Mindful that you won't want to miss. Now, in this masterclass, I'm going to be sharing mindfulness techniques that you can practice in just a couple of minutes a day to help you feel more calm and less stressed. Now, you're going to find both of these links right beneath this video. So until next time, my friend, take good care of yourself, and I wish you a day of peace and presence.